Hello everybody, it's Chris the Spyder Minimalist, and today we're going to talk about the cover that I chose for my Spyder and why I chose it. We're heading to a parking lot that I think will be pretty sparsely used right now, so I won't have people coming up to me asking me questions while I'm putting the cover on. But on the way there, I wanted to talk a little bit about my reasoning for the cover, because I agonized over which cover to buy long before I bought the Spyder. There's a lot of great content on YouTube about Spyder covers. There are a lot of choices. I shouldn't say a lot, but there's enough choices out there. And I went with a minimalist approach, but it's probably not the cover you're thinking, and I'll explain why. It has to do with my reasoning for even having a cover in the first place. So where I started was with a minimalist approach, and I immediately came to the Ultra Guard half cover. There cannot be a smaller Spyder cover than the Ultra Guard half cover. There are plenty of videos out there. I know Coach Bob did a great one showing, you know, his Spyder cover, the reasoning for it and whatnot, and putting it on. And that's initially, as a minimalist, what I thought would be my obvious choice. Now, what is this? Look at this. We got a truck coming at us. Is he going the wrong way? No, he's just being towed. That's kind of funny. Can you see that? I'm sure you can see it now that we're up close. But anyway, so that was my first choice. But then I stopped and thought about, okay, why do you want a cover, Chris? And the fact of the matter is I've got a garage, so I'm going to use a cover very infrequently. I'm never going to use it at home. There's no season when I'll be putting it on at home because I've got the garage. And I'm not going to use it every time I ride the Spyder because for obvious reasons. It's usually a beautiful day, and when it's pouring rain, I'm not going to put the cover on and then take it off. So I wanted a cover because I plan on doing some traveling on this Spyder. And if I'm in a parking lot at a Hampton Inn on the side of an interstate in a town that I'm not familiar with, I might not feel 100% comfortable parking my Spyder there overnight. Now, I'm not worried about someone stealing the Spyder, because if I was worried about that, I would not have chosen the cover I'm going to show you. But I'm worried about just someone messing with it. And that could be just some innocent kid who is pulling in with his parents. They're on vacation and he wants to sit on the Spyder, so he sits on it and maybe he starts messing with buttons or whatever. Maybe he hits my kill switch and, you know, the next morning I, you know, can't figure out why the thing won't start initially. Not a big deal, right? But maybe someone is more mischievous than that. Maybe they want to do something to it to, you know, for some, you know, bad reason. And I want to basically cover my Spyder for that. It's not to protect it from the rain. It's not to protect it from, you know, the elements, dust. Really, that's not what it is for me. For me, it's protecting it from mischief. Now, the Ultra Guard half cover that I initially thought I'd get, because it's the ultimate in minimalist covers, wouldn't accomplish that mission. It's just too small and I want to say flimsy, and too easy for someone who wants to do mischief. If they really want to do mischief, that Ultra Guard half cover is not gonna accomplish the mission. So I thought, okay, I need a full cover. And there's a few manufacturers of good full covers. One of them is Dowco. And Dowco, I did a lot of homework on this. Dowco, their cover is waterproof. I believe it's lockable with a special lock. I wouldn't get the lock because, again, I'm not worried about theft. If someone really wants to mess with it, then they might be able to slice the thing open and go right through the cover and not even have to mess with the lock. But the Dowco cover is one that I would buy if I was worried about rain, if I didn't have a garage. There's another manufacturer, I believe it's Fenrir. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. It's spelled F-I-N-R-I-R, and that looks like a good solid option as well. But because I wanted a minimalist cover, meaning one that wouldn't take a lot of space on the bike, I thought, you know what, I'm going with the Ultra Guard full cover, because it is the smallest of between the Dowco, the Fenrir, and other options. It is the smallest other than the Ultra Guard half cover. And how I deduced that was I went to Amazon, looked at the packaging size for the UltraGuard full cover, the Fenrir cover, and the Dowco cover, and came to the quick conclusion that the UltraGuard cover is incredibly small. And as a minimalist, that really appealed to me. Now, what that also means is it's incredibly, well, one, it isn't inexpensive, but two, it's, I hate to use the word cheap, but really that's the word. I mean, it is inexpensive, and so therefore it's probably not made from the best materials that are out there. I'm gonna just park right here. So anyway, I went with the UltraGuard half cover. I'm sorry, I went with the UltraGuard full cover because it was minimalist. It covers the thing fully, and that's the choice I made. Now what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put on that cover, and I'll show it to you before I put it on and set up my, I've got a video me putting on the cover with my iPhone, and I brought a tripod for that very purpose, but I wanted you to see this, how small it is. So my guess is when you put pressure on it, so if this were at the bottom of my frunk where I intend to keep it, you know, it would be like, let's say 3 inches tops deep, and I think it's maybe a foot by 14 inches or something. For those of you in Canada or Europe or wherever you use the metric system, I apologize, but I'm one of those incorrigible Americans, and we love our standard units. So anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this cover on. I'm going to video it with my iPhone. Now, I watched a YouTube video by someone who sells these things. I think it was a Sling Mods video, and man, that guy put this cover on in like 3 seconds. I mean, I'm exaggerating, but it was so incredibly fast that he put it on. It was amazing. Well, one, he sells these things, so it probably wasn't his first rodeo, and two, more importantly, he did the time compression thing where he sped up the video. I don't think I'm going to do that for 2 reasons. One, I want you to see actually how long it takes to put this on, and two, I'm not sure I know how to use the time compression thing. I'm now using Final Cut Pro instead of iMovie to edit my video. I know it has the capability. I'm still learning it. I don't think I've gotten to that point yet. So when you watch this video, I might edit this out, but if you see me moving really fast in fast motion, it's because I figured it out. And if I'm going slow, it's because I want you to see. It's because, one, I want you to see what it's really like putting it on, and two, I don't know how to speed it up. So I'm going to shut off the GoPro and I'm going to go to the iPhone. Okay, folks, this is the first time I'm using this tripod. It's a little El Cheapo. I think it's called Joby is the brand, but it seems to be holding up. So I'm going to put this cover on and we're going to see what it's like together. So in the video, it says to look for the logo, and you want to put the logo out front, and that's how you get started. That's what we're going to do. Here's the logo. Okay, you cannot see it, but the UltraGuard logo is right here. You can see where this fits form-fitted over the windscreen. And then it says, I don't have my lapel mic, so you might not be able to hear me when I'm back there, but then it says, once you get it with the logo just on the windscreen, work from the back and go that way, and then pull the cover over the front. So there's a hole, there's kind of a Velcro tabbed hole for the antenna. I think they have one on both sides in case, I guess, you have an aftermarket antenna. So this is going on super easily. You can see it's essentially on. There are a couple of little bungee strings here with loops. I guess these are I'm just connecting it to the bottom of the plastics. So much for speeding up the video using the editing software. That was completely unnecessary. You saw how fast that went. This was super smooth, super easy. I love this. Folks, I'll tell you, if I'm on the side of the interstate at a Hampton Inn in a parking lot just like this, putting that on my Can-Am Spyder, I don't know how long it took. When I edit the video, I'll know, and you'll know as you're watching this, but it went super smooth, much faster than I thought. Maybe that guy in the UltraGuard video doesn't need to do the speed up because this was fast. I'm gonna shut down the iPhone, pick it up with the GoPro, and just wrap this up. So one of the things you may be wondering about is how easy is it to get this cover back in the sack. Now, the guy on the video, on the Slingmon's video, made it look really easy. Between you and I, dear viewer, I don't really care about it because I'm going to try to get it in the sack, in this cover that came with it. But whether it fits or not, my thinking is this is going to go at the bottom of the frunk. And I'm going to open up the frunk right now. And so you can see, if the cover was down there, that would almost be like padding for the rest of the stuff I put in the frunk. I keep a, it's not there now, but I keep a half shell helmet in case I have a passenger unexpectedly. It's always on the bike. So my thinking is the cover will go at the bottom. In this case or not, it doesn't matter. But I'm going to try to put it in it and you'll see what it's like. So I'm not really worried about how it's folded. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time doing that neatly. I'm doing this kind of like I make my bed, which is, well, that's another story. So we're going to see how this goes. And my guess is if I folded it up neatly and nicely, this would go in much easier, but we're going to just see how this goes. And if, again, if it doesn't, whoop, if it rips open like it just did, no worries. I'm not worried at all. That's not bothering me. I'm not going to say, well, it's cheap, because this is the way I'm doing it. And it's what I should expect. And it's a minor rip. Look at that. It fits. I mean, that minor rip notwithstanding, I can... Look at that. If I knew how to sew... Oh, the zipper came off. Well, this is not an ad for Sling Mods or UltraGuard, but... So, the case is not the perfect case. I'm going to chalk this up to user error, because if I folded that in a more flat as opposed to wide. You saw how it was before. It was 3 inches, now it's like 6 inches. This is all my fault, but again, I'm not worried about it because I'm going to keep this right here, and I'm not worried about it. And I'll probably, look at that, almost perfect. I'm glad it broke. Anyway, you can see it fits perfectly. My half shell helmet will, open face helmet I guess I should say, will be right here, and I'll have room for some other things as well. So folks, I gave you a little glimpse at my thinking and reasoning behind choosing the cover I chose, the UltraGuard full cover. It went on much easier than I thought, just a few minutes. It came off even easier than that. It's going to be my cover. Now maybe it's going to fall apart after a couple of uses, and I'll hate it and go with something more expensive and more sturdy, and it takes up twice as much space in my frunk. But for now, I'm happy as can be with what I purchased, and I hope some of that sheds some light on the cover process for those of you who are maybe either new to the Spyder and don't have a cover yet, or maybe folks who are going to get a Spyder and hadn't thought about purchasing a cover. Thank you again. I really appreciate you coming along on these little journeys, and you have a great day. Bye-bye.